Back to Let's Have It Out with myself, Thabiso Mosia. I'm a sports anchor, by the way, at SAFM. And before we go to the lines, I do understand we have Takutso from Kempton Park on the line. Mr. Grobler, sorry to cut you off there. I just want you to finish your answer about why you interdicted the Commission of Inquiry, because according to the Minister, you were not cooperating.
I think it's extremely relevant to put that on the table. It is not correct that stadium management is uncooperative in any investigation that's properly constituted in terms of the Act. And that's what our letter to the Minister says. We, in fact, encouraged her to constitute this, this new committee in terms of the Act and tendered our full cooperation, because we think there's lessons to learn, as Ricky said, that can be applied in future to make events even more safe and secure for spectators.
I agree with you. We need to learn lessons from this thing because we need to avoid the loss of lives at stadium. Hi, Takutso. Thank you for calling us. What is your question or comment? Welcome to Let's Have It Out.
Hi, Thabiso. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Takutso.
I'm okay. I just want to say that I think I agree with Mr. Grobler, right? Security must be beefed up at these stadiums to avoid deaths, 1, 2, and to some extent the fans are to blame, because some of them, they come to the stadiums drunk and say when their teams are losing, they start causing havoc.
Okay,
that's
great stuff.
all I have to say.
Great stuff, Takutso, loud and clear. And I think it brings me to the next question now, gentlemen. The fan behavior, because obviously the fans are not innocent here. I've been to the stadium many times, and we always preach the same message on the radio that please get to the stadium early, please come with a ticket. And there are guys that will come without a ticket, even though tickets are not sold at the stadium. What are the worrying things about the behavior of the fans and that the fans need to improve on?
Maybe I can give the intro there, and Rick, who's on the ground at each and every event, seeing what transpires, he can elaborate on that. I think spectator education is an important aspect that we're missing at this point in time. We've now engaged our stadium management in discussions with the clubs, who's really cooperating in that sense with their branch managers and their members. We also took up a new challenge by engaging the superfans to be involved prior to the match and prior to people entering the stadium, to assist us. Let's call it, we're deviating from the hard approach and we're looking at the softer approach, but there's always a line to be drawn where you need to escalate to hard action if the soft approach is not bearing fruit. And I think Ricky can explain to you the issue with regards to unticketed people, and then the issue of fake tickets. That is a major concern at this point in time.
Yes, and I know you've been preaching that. Before you go there, Ricky, let me just read a tweet here from Vusintimane on Twitter, who says, what are you doing to solve stadium robbery, especially at the FNB Stadium? In big games, people get robbed. I don't know if it talks to one thing, and you want to pick it up maybe from the fake tickets, and we can answer that.
Okay. All right, so maybe I can just start at the point of fan behavior and how can we improve things. I think the biggest improvement we can do right now for safety and security is really improving fan behavior. And we're not blaming the fans. We're not always saying they are wrong. But in many ways, if fans manage themselves in a better way, maybe stuck to rules a little bit more, self-management, you know, it would improve a lot on safety and security. And we know what those issues are. People rushing to the stadium, people getting late, everybody wants to get in, and there's pushing.
Also, people live far and have to travel far to get to the stadium, and they have to leave work, take a train, take a taxi.
Work until 1, get a taxi, go home still, get dressed in the wonderful gear that they wear, get to the stadium, and you're late. And what do you want to do? You want to get in. But it doesn't help us when people are late and they start pushing and shoving. And you have 1,000 people at one entry point pushing. And it causes accidents and it causes injuries. That's the one thing. So in terms of fan behavior, we're not picking on them. We understand the culture and we understand It is something that we've got to try and work with the spectators and saying, listen, it doesn't need us to take a harder approach. It actually needs us to sometimes maybe take a softer approach in terms of the PR
Put yourself
point.
in their shoes. Think
Absolutely.
of the guy that lives work at 5 that has to take
100%.
a taxi to Bree Street and then from there take another taxi
Correct.
there and then get stuck in traffic, which is also another big problem. I know it's not your responsibility,
Yes.
but are you aware of the robberies that are raised by Vusi Ntimane there?
I am. And you have at entry points where so many people are pushing to get in, and you have pickpockets that go with them. And now you have 1,000 people all squashed. To spot them is very difficult. These guys are very, very good at relieving you of some of your valuables.
You've got cameras also. Are you able to spot them? Are you identifying these criminals? You've also got a jail cell at the FNB
absolutely.
Stadium.
When people are sausaged in together, it is very difficult. We try, of course. Our security is briefed. They are aware. And we do catch some of them, but not all of them, unfortunately.
I think another thing that you raised now, and I think that's important to put that on the table as well, the traffic and the transport.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to report, and let's raise some positive issues here as well. We've engaged with the JMPD and other stakeholders, Top 6 taxis, Uber, Ria Vaya. And in fact, tomorrow morning at 10, we've got the first meeting with the first draft plan that we're going to put to table, see where we can amend that. We're well aware of the transport issues. And as you correctly said, it's not any of our responsibility, but we need to try and assist, because that will contribute to a safer and secure event if people arrive earlier. So I'm very happy and confident that and obviously we'll see to it that it's publicized and reported widely, a proper transport plan to make use of park and ride systems.
Okay, we have to go to an end break, but I'm just concerned, Mr. Mayor, by the fact that you can't identify these pickpocketers, because surely that should be the first step, be able to identify them, put their posters all over the stadium, know that these people are not supposed to be at the stadium. Even the fans that misbehave, you should be able to identify them if you have security systems in place that are working properly. So I'm not sure if I agree with you that you can't identify people that pickpocket at the stadiums, but we have to take another break, and we'll take more of your questions and comments after this break.